I'm just a bill.
Yeah, that is also a
on
song from
Capitol
that.
Hill. Welcome to episode 8 of Westpoint, a podcast and website serving up Kanye music discussion, news, show, and album reviews, and more. My name is Kanyeden Kardashian, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Conley Westwood.
Hello.
And Paul Ye Kolb West.
That was real tortured.
What?
But I'm on board.
What's tortured? What are you talking about?
You working in that name.
Whose name?
Is that your transition?
Yay.
What transition? This is Blisspoint, if you weren't aware. We do a lot of those things, but without Kanye. But this week, this is our special Kanye edition. So, speaking of...
Kanye Watch 2018.
Speaking of, Kanye has taken over the world by storm. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Well, I mean, not Instagram. Pretty much every medium, I think. Since, 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. This is when we last recorded, because he didn't really do much.
We almost
since then.
talked about him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was, said something,
he was doing some stuff.
Aren't you glad we
thank
waited?
Goodness we waited.
Oh, Jesus Christ, did we wait? So, Kanye first came out. As the weeks have gone on, I get more sick and tired of Kanye news because it's just gotten worse. I was initially really excited because allegedly he's coming out with 2 albums in June. One being his next album, 7 songs, pretty short, keeping it tight. The other album is apparently a collaboration with Kid Cudi. He's producing a Nas album, which is supposed to come out in June. And he's also supposed to do a couple other things in June. Pusha T's new album's coming out end of May as well. And of course, as he is wont to do, he got on Twitter and starts talking about how much he loves Trump, Carrot Daddy, Lord and Leader of the United States of America. Quote, "You don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals, and we have the right to independent thought." Sure, Kanye. That's sure. Okay, I'm with you halfway. Then he goes on to release a new song, "Lift Yourself."
He did, yes.
Which everyone thinks is a joke, maybe?
It's got to be, right?
I would hope so. There's no way this is on the new album.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, I'll be pissed. I mean,
would be very upset.
Well, Billy, you had some insight on this, right?
What I had heard, and I don't know how much of it's true, but it's kind of a knock at one of the radio DJs, I think maybe in Chicago, that kind of called Kanye out for not really being a lyricist and kind of like basically losing his mind.
Sure.
And so I think it was kind of a little knock at him. I think he might have even dedicated it to him or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I wouldn't think it would be on the album.
That makes a little more sense.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, and that's the thing, is like the beat on that song is
it's great.
Really good.
It's really, really good. It is classic Kanye.
Yeah.
The vocals are mixed well, and then he comes in with this dumb whoop-diddy scoop poop, like abstract weird bullshit verse, non-verse. So that was weird. Then he came out and said his new album is going to feature the surgeon who operated on his mom like the day before she died.
Well, yeah, because she died from complications from that surgery.
Right.
And he's had all this like anger towards him and stuff like that. And he like wanted to release this album with his name as a way to forgive and like move on,
which is his weird way of saying he forgives him.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, but the surgeon apparently responded in an open letter.
It was basically like a cease and desist letter.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. He starts out.
Back off
he starts out with like, "I'm really honored. Like, I've never been on an album cover before, but don't use me.
Don't do it this way."
Yeah. I don't think putting somebody on blast is the best way to forgive and forget.
Yeah. But then like Kanye put out a tweet with like the open letter and was like, "Can't wait to meet with him and like really
discuss this out and really put his face on my ass."
Yeah, right.
It's fucking stupid. Then he released Kanye versus the People. Not the Peach Bowl.
The Peach Bowl?
That would have been way
Kanye
better.
versus the People featuring T.I. And that was equally as bad, but more of a track. And it has them kind of arguing back and forth. And Paul, what did you say about the it doesn't sound like they're...
Yeah, no, so I could not care less about his politics. That's his view.
Yes.
It's fine. It's just the track is objectively bad.
Yes.
And Billy made a great point. He said the beat is dope, and I said, you're right, but I'm not sure that they heard it when they were recording it.
Yes, it really sounds like they were both isolated from each other and from the music. Like it's just very weird. And then he says the one of the girls from Parkland that came out and said a lot of stuff, Emma Gonzalez, was his hero. And everybody started saying he was crazy and insane. And Kim and Chance the Rapper came out and defended him, saying, like, you know, while we don't agree with him all the way, he's certainly not crazy. He's feeling the best that he's ever felt.
Right.
He's Kanye being Kanye. And then yesterday or the day before, he dropped a whammy. He said slavery was a choice. And he just immediately gets shut down. He was doing an interview with TMZ talking about his opioid addiction after liposuction. And he said slavery was a choice because Kanye and this dude at TMZ just shuts him down.
Yes.
It's a really, really good video. You should look it up. It's all over Twitter.
Wait, he had liposuction? I know it's not really important, but
he had liposuction because he
liposuction.
wanted to look good for all of us. And
he was afraid people would call him fat.
Like Rob, the Kardashian brother.
I've never seen him large enough to be in need of...
People started talking about Kanye putting on weight like before his last album.
Yeah.
But
I get it. You're in the spotlight, but I feel like you need to be a certain size before
whatever. And then he was interviewed by Charlemagne the God. And I didn't watch any of the interview because it's like 2 hours long. But he says some weird shit in that. He calls J. Cole, and they're having a conversation, so people think it's a collaboration. I have no idea what is going on in his camp. It's really disappointing to me that... Actually, I'm more disappointed in myself that I should have known better. That he is more willing to stir up controversy than to say something worthwhile to get his album cycle started. Like, this is just his thing now, is like, I'm going to drop when I'm ready to release my album and just say a bunch of weird shit.
Right.
And have people talk about me. And just say whatever I'm thinking without, I was so frustrated with him. Like, he just says the dumbest shit and doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
And it would have been kosher, I think, maybe 5-6 years ago. It would have been like, oh, just Kanye being Kanye. But like him saying all these things is like super offensive to a lot of people. And I don't think he realizes the kind of power that he wields and the type of people that are waiting to prey on this as a method of using it to take down other people.
Yeah. And he even tweeted out his private conversation with John Legend, as people assume it's John Legend.
Yeah.
Where that's exactly what John Legend's trying to say is like,
Yes.
do you realize how much power your words have to people?
Right.
And he's just like, I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yeah.
And
First Amendment, which it's true.
Right.
He's not wrong.
Right.
But everyone's entitled to their opinion, but that doesn't mean their opinion is correct. So,
Exactly.
with that, Kanye Minute, Kanye Hour is over. I'm very excited for the new album, whatever it purports to be.
And people will still lose their mind over it.
Oh, absolutely.
I guarantee it.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Avicii. This came out a couple weeks ago. Very tragic. A lot of people, I was never huge into his music, but a lot of people in that scene really, really liked him, put him as a stand-up guy.
To that, yeah,
And
about how he was responsible for
dude was massive.
pretty much like motivating and starting a lot of people's careers.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
a lot of like the younger DJs that are huge now,
Right.
Like Kygo in particular came out and was like, I
Sure.
wouldn't be here if it wasn't
Yeah.
for him, and he's massive now.
Yeah, and by all accounts, Avicii seemed like a really cool guy. So, rest in peace to him, and hopefully his family gets some peace. Also, another sad note: rest in peace to the Schoolhouse Rock guy, Bob Duro. Recorded a lot of the music used in, I'm sure, every Schoolhouse Rock video that you've seen when you were a child, and I still remember those songs a lot. So he was a pretty great musician, and definitely will be missed. And this last one, new Death Cab Death Cab for Cutie album on the way, potentially.
Pretty excited.
I know you're the one that got me to listen to Kintsugi again. Their last album was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say this is
hated it the first time I listened to it.
So it's going to be followed up by I still hate it.
No, I actually it's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't hate it as much as I used to. It's pretty good. I should just say it's pretty good. It's not my favorite. It never was going to be. But
I mean, I love Death Cab, but as far as their albums go, it's usually I like 70-75% of their albums. I don't necessarily fall for every track on every album.
Sure.
And so I get it. Like that album, I mean, I loved it. It was still really good and had some of my favorite Death Cab songs are on that album.
I'm happy to see them still trying to evolve and do different things.
Quick turnaround for them, right?
I cannot knock them. It's been 3 years, I think. They teased something about August or late summer or something. So maybe a new album by then. They're at least going on tour. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
I do like Death Cab a lot.
My hopes are high that I dig it.
Yeah. No matter what they do, I will always be excited. So next, let's get into some what we have been listening to. And that encapsulates the best, worst, good, noteworthy, mediocre, important, inconsequential, sometimes album-related shows, singles, and new releases of the week. First up, we have shows. Mr. Billy, you've been busy. Tell me what you got.
Yeah. Started on Sunday. We went to Songbird in DC to check out Mississippi.
Have you been to Songbird before?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like Songbird?
It's okay.
It's okay.
I mean,
small coffee shop kind of venue, right?
Yeah, it's a basement venue.
Okay.
So it's underneath their kind of like the upstairs is kind of like a bar, restaurant, coffee shop, meets record store.
Okay. Cool.
And then the basement has the venue. So very low ceilings, not great.
Sure.
Viewing angles.
Tiny shitty venue.
Yeah, like the stage has a massive pillar like right in the middle of it.
Nice.
Which is
it's like Autobar.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. And the sound is, nothing fantastic. But we went for Mississippi and Slaughter Beach Dog, who is the lead singer of Modern Baseball.
Right.
His side project. And doors were at 7, shows at 8. We show up like 7:45. Figure we really want to see Mississippi. That's why we went.
Sure.
And show ran 30 minutes late. So we saw Mississippi and decided to just bail and never even saw Slaughter Beach Dog because it was a Sunday night and we were tired.
Yeah, I feel you.
Mississippi was solid. They were really good live.
Does that sound translate well? I know we talked about this last episode. We talked about how her mix really complements her voice really well on an album. But I'm wondering if that translates well to live sitting.
Yeah, so you can tell they're really good. Her voice is the exact same live. It's really, really good. But I mean, like I said, the sound overall wasn't great.
Sure.
There wasn't anything. It was just very raw, like
perfect,
kind of not mixed very well. So I'm excited to see them in maybe a different venue or a different setting at some point.
You can see them getting a little bit bigger. Maybe,
I would
like
think
a Black Cat or something.
It was
like
packed
that.
for them. It was almost sold out, I'd say.
Okay. Cool.
And then Slaughter Beach Dog, I'll say, is good because I didn't watch them. So
he's all right. That new album is all right. It is okay.
And then last night, Maggie and I went to Haim and Lizzo, which was crazy.
How was Lizzo?
Lizzo was insane.
Lizzo is rad.
Dude.
She's so cool.
Yes, it was such a good show.
I didn't know she opened.
People
That's awesome.
lost their minds.
I bet.
It was at Anthem, so it was packed, sold out.
Yep.
Completely filled before Lizzo even went on.
Okay.
And it was just insane. She probably played for like 45 minutes.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
that's
it was
awesome.
solid. It was just the two of them, so it was almost like a co-headliner show. It really felt like.
Good for them.
How would you characterize her sound?
It's pop hip hop.
Yeah.
Very like positive, like feminist self-love.
Yeah, it's very strong female hip hop. Yeah. But not like the Nicki Minaj type. Yeah. It's a little more not classy, but like
it's like just about like self-love basically.
Yes,
Most of her songs are pretty much just like
very
self-love,
much sex positive and stuff like that.
Right.
If you've
sounds
heard of
mom
Cupcake,
friendly,
which is
like
very,
this
very
is some
similar.
good positive rap.
It is not mom friendly. It is very not mom friendly.
But it was. I mean, her set was was pretty wild. And then Haim came on and they killed it as usual. They started with a drum solo.
Nice.
Get into their stuff. I mean, they're just all so
they seem
freaking
super
talented.
They seem like they would be super classy live, like very put together. Like, really?
I mean, musically they're flawless.
Okay.
I mean, they sound perfect, but in between songs they just ramble. And
nice.
There's no method to anything they say.
Cool.
They just like get into random stories.
Sure.
That can be endearing.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice, and they were having a great time.
Awesome.
They were loving that show.
That's always good. Sound was good.
Yes, sound was great.
Okay.
So we were dead center, but on the third balcony.
Oh, okay.
Or on the second balcony, whatever.
Yeah.
And the sound was amazing. It was
awesome.
It's so loud up there.
The Snapchat that I got from you, it was like, this sounds really good. Like I could hear very clearly, even though you were that far away.
Yeah.
Like that's good.
It was sweet.
The venue's great. It's very, very much
amazing.
worth it. Yeah, it's pretty good. A pretty good investment. This one, I can't believe I almost forgot about. Paul and I traveled up to Philly, close by to Philly, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, to see the Mountain Goats live and full band Mountain Goats. So Paul and I have seen Mountain Goats before, but it was just John, the singer, and their saxophonist, piano guy. It was just two of them. It was a very stripped down set. So this was cool to see them all like live and electric. And I thought it was excellent. Well, Paul, what'd you think?
I'm comfortable calling it a Philly show just because the crowd wasn't satisfied with 2 encores.
No, that was a weird thing.
Encore 2 was a slow track, and I feel like that's the artist telling the audience, like, okay,
get
here
the
you
fuck
go.
out of here. Yeah, that was really weird because I noticed about halfway through the set that they were recording, or they had a recording device. I don't know if they were recording the show or if he's going to put out like a live album or something from the tour. So I wonder if that's why he did 2 encores to like pull if he wanted different material or something.
It makes sense. But it was a great show though.
Yeah,
it was really good.
It was very excellent. It just like that's just the dumbest like cheesy rock shit you could do.
The venue had a strange setup because the sound guy was on the top balcony behind the band.
Yeah,
which was I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, it was really weird. So like you come in a very small entryway, you turn a corner, and immediately in front of you is raised seating, and about half of the venue is raised seating.
Weird.
Yeah, and the rest. So you go straight, the bar's to your left, there's space behind the bar, and then the rest, you go all the way down, and then you hit the stage. So it's kind of like DC9.
Yeah.
So like the stage is like, you can see them get off the stage, and it's right there. So there's hardly any standing room. And then the sound guy is go straight up from the stage and then turn right, and it's on a balcony.
Weird.
Yeah. So like, the band kept looking back and up, and like, I need this up.
Right,
It's
exactly.
Like, and it sounded pretty good for considering. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, I mean, to answer
Really
your
good set
question
list.
more directly, I thought the list choice was really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's always a great performance.
He played the hits.
Yeah, it was kind of neat comparing it to the previous show we went out to, just because, like you said, that was a more intimate experience.
Yeah.
There was a lot of B-sides they played that they wouldn't do otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
This one, a lot less crowd work, a lot more just straight song after song, playing the stuff you want to hear. I like how much that song from Beat the Champ has become kind of a crowd favorite.
Foreign Object.
Right. Or I think
great.
the whole thing is I will stab you with a foreign object.
Yes.
But,
correct.
Yeah,
that's
venue full of people shouting that.
It's great. And I was pleased to see that he did his like little solo set too, because I didn't think he would do that with the full band, but he kind of kicked the band off the stage for like 10 minutes and played a couple songs by himself. Cool. He like consummate professional. That dude is amazing. John Janelle. If you're not familiar with Mountain Goats, go check them out. They're really, really good. Definitely see them live if you get the chance. So, with that in mind, let's get into some fresh singles.
Sweet.
Singles of the week. This first one, Billy, how do we feel about All Get Out?
Love. And this single just kind of cemented that even more.
Yeah. It's more them. It's nothing wildly different.
No, yeah.
But it's still very tight. It's good, like, indie emo rock, very akin to like Manchester Orchestra or stuff like that. So I'm curious. Did you like them because they sounded like Manchester, or?
Yeah, so Maggie actually introduced me to them months ago, and that was the first thing I thought about was this is an Atlanta band, this is a Manchester band. Like it was so obvious that they were.
I think they're on the same label.
Yeah, they're like from the same
like
roots, and it's very much the same vibe. Two different bands,
yes,
but and two different sounds. But for some reason, they just really are relatable.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that's why initially, like, I just, like, felt so attached to them. And they've been consistently good.
Yeah.
The stuff they put out is consistently good.
Super catchy stuff. A lot of, like, heavier lyrical themes and stuff like that. And just, the production's always really, really good.
Yeah.
And I found them to be more catchy than Manchester, which I like a lot.
For sure, yeah.
Definitely have really good hooky choruses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they do have an album with the works. At least it seems like it based on the interview that I read.
Cool.
So I could definitely go for that. Paul, did you like it?
I did in general. I didn't have too many thoughts on it, but definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, absolutely. Machinedrum, Hype Up. This is a Lucy, just a random single that he threw out there. I really like this style of music a lot. I don't know the type of electronic music it is or what it's called, but it's like
kind of weird.
Let's get out the chart.
Yeah, let's get out the electronic music chart. Very glitchy, very bright. Somebody on the comments described it as very similar to PC music, which is a collective of musicians that writes very similar music. So I can definitely see that a lot.
Is that the one we were thinking sounds like Square Pusher? Maybe I was alone in that.
Yes.
To me, it
I
sounds
see that,
like
though.
pretty much any electronic music you can find on SoundCloud.
He admits it all sounds the same.
It's
I
pretty
mean,
true. It's pretty true. I can
it
see
didn't
that.
stand out for me. It very much sounded just like anything you could find from. I mean, Machinedrum is a major producer.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like anything that really stood
Cream
out.
of the crop, but more crop.
Yes.
Some would say. This new Paul White track, Returning. His new album came out last week, April 27th. I was not super impressed with the album, but this track was really, really good.
It was.
I like the vibe of it a lot. Mm-hmm. It's neat. It's kind of like it got a very meditative vibe. Not a lot of drums on it.
Yeah, so it's just instrumental with like some nice guitar work, and it's just kind of like
clean
dreamy
guitar. Yeah, and it's got some like I don't know how to describe the vocals, but like chant like almost like not verbal really, but like just very chant like is the only thing I can think of.
I feel like calling it background music sounds kind of dismissive.
Sure.
But no, it's perfect for that.
Yeah, it is. It's very good thinking music. It's great. Paul White has worked with Danny Brown in the past, and they put out an EP last year or the year before. It was really, really good. So definitely check it out. It's a good song. Very good song. Hatchie, Sleep. The new Dream Pop offering for this week. It never runs out. It never runs dry.
No,
really.
I mean I love me some good Dream Pop.
Yeah. I liked it quite a bit. I know you guys were cooler on it.
It's just 90s Dream Pop. It's weird. I think
90s.
it lies in her voice where that 90s sound kind of comes from.
And that melody sounds very similar.
Melody is I don't know what song it is, but it's identical to a 90s song.
Yes.
I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
It's because the vocals are like half echo.
Yeah, that's true. It is washed out all the hell. There's nothing that doesn't have an effect on it. So if you're into that, definitely check it out. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good and upbeat and different, at least in that most dream pop that I hear nowadays is just very humdrum, very slow.
Most of it sounds the same. I love all of it, but most of it sounds the same. This definitely stands out.
Very true. New John Hopkins. I think one of my favorite producers right now. Mm-hmm. He's got an album coming out this Friday, May 4th. He worked with Coldplay, used one of his songs for an outro that they had.
Oh, interesting.
And it's on one of my favorite Coldplay albums. The outro is just gorgeous. It's like very crescendo, and he has a very cool vibe to his music. And I thought this was pretty different. It's like, would you describe it as house? I don't.
Yes,
it has that definitely that driving beat.
It
doesn't have like the low key pianos that I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's worth looking up the video.
Yeah, the video is very cool.
Interesting animation.
Definitely. And this last one, fucking banger. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm very excited. This is Thundercat's new track, Final Fight. It is an Adult Swim single, which they always put out good music. His last album was just okay, so this has me very excited for new material. Paul, what'd you think?
1,000 times yes. I love this track. I'm a big fan of Thundercat. He's the best.
He really is. He's great.
And I think we mentioned it before, but I was just telling Billy, he's the bassist that a lot of people know from all the Flying Lotus stuff. And I think you were saying the first 2 Kendrick albums?
Last 2. So Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh, that makes
Some would
way
say
more
his
sense.
Best. So he's a god. He's a bass god. He's very, very talented. And also has good songwriting chops.
Yeah, I didn't
too.
know all that background. I mean, I knew who he was. I had no idea
Sure.
he'd worked with that many people or on that many big albums. I mean,
He's like our generation's Bootsy Collins.
Yeah.
Because he goes across a bunch of different genres, performs with different bands, and his own composition is really solid.
Yeah, it's I was
His
looking
chops
him
are
up.
nuts.
Yeah, I was looking him up on Wikipedia before we started, and his like that section where it says all of the albums and people that he's worked with. It's like a mile long. Like he's worked with Suicidal Tendencies before, Kamasi Washington, like we said, Flying Lotus and Kendrick, and a bunch of others. So great session musician, excellent studio musician for his own albums. Just great. Definitely check him out. So now let's get into the good shit that I've been waiting for. I think most everything was really good this week. I don't have any what's the word? There's no Casey Musgraves this week, Billy.
Billy, you ready for me to question your pronunciation of this?
Yeah, Billy, give us. We're gonna send you to
introduce
die
my album
first.
for me, please.
No.
All right, I think my album is my new release. Should I say is Elohim?
I'm pretty sure it's Elohim. buddy.
Elohim.
Just kidding.
I'll murder
Just fucking
you.
with you. I think it's Elohim.
I think
I'm
you
with
had it to begin with.
Yeah.
I just wanted to plant that seed.
It's
for you.
Elohim, self-titled.
for every variation.
Artist is Elohim. Album is Elohim.
Nice, definitely. Their album is definitely titled differently. I like
Yes.
it. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it. It was.
Yeah, it was a series of text messages. It's like, oh, this album's great. Album of the week.
Maybe
wait a
not.
second. Yeah,
wait,
a second.
as I'm going through it, maybe I'm reconsidering everything.
It was a harder couple of weeks than
It was. Yes,
Yes.
we should preface by the last 2 weeks have been very difficult to find
for
stuff
music.
that we are really
well, maybe
really
personally too.
well all around.
we only care about the music.
But yeah. No, I agree.
And this album, it's got some really strong points. A couple of songs are just real bangers. It's too long. It's
I agree.
15 songs. That middle filler stuff,
Very
don't need
much
it.
agree.
Don't know why it's there.
Like
Cut it all.
the best tracks were just
Yeah.
peppered so few and far
Right.
between that like it was rough getting through some of it. But there's the problem that I had with this album is that there's a lot of good singular ideas on a lot of separate tracks. Just none of them come together well with everything.
And that's why it's even hard to describe like what kind of genre of music it is, because it doesn't stick to really anything. It's kind of electronica,
Right.
I don't know.
This subgenre is all over the place,
Yeah,
but it's very electronic music.
Right. And it goes from being like some real poppy kind of mainstream kind of stuff that you could maybe even hear on the radio to some really like wispy, just like ambient.
Yeah. There's
just
some
soft,
cool glitchy stuff on here
depressive,
too.
like,
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, to me, it started out pretty strong. The second song, "The Wave,"
It's my favorite.
That was my favorite too, and that's probably when I had texted. I was like, I think I found my album of the week, and then I was like, sweet, and then it got into I think it's
6
like
songs after that.
yeah, "Skinny Legs," another good track. came like either the next song or song after. And I was like, okay. And then you hit this middle part where it just all slows down. And it gets just super depressive and like...
There's a lot
not
of
in like sad kind of way, just in like a very like lo-fi, like not much going on.
Yeah, the mood definitely takes a downturn for sure.
And then they come back with a couple of good tracks. Half Love is pretty good. But yeah, just... I don't know. She's pretty big, I think. I think people listen to her.
I didn't know. So I thought it was a duo for some reason.
Oh, really?
When I first listened to it. Or when I first looked it up.
Uh-huh.
And then when I heard The Wave, I was like, oh, cool. This is a nice feature. Like, I like her voice on it. And then her voice is on every song.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I'm pretty sure it's just her.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think so.
And that's my main problem with this album is... her wispy vocal style is perfect on some tracks.
Yes.
Drives me insane. The other half.
Right. No, I really enjoy her voice. I really think she's good.
And she's a good, like, she's like the prototypical electronic music feature artist.
Yes.
Like, she's just got that voice. She's got very perfect chops and vibe for it.
Yeah. I just think she needs to find her niche and figure out where she wants to stick. Because she just kind of spitballed on this album to see what would work. And some of it did work, and then some of it just didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
So it kind of reminds me, like, in the sense of, like, you've got those different genres, different vibes. Kind of is like a Luna Shadows kind of vibe. When it slows down, it has that Verite vibe. And Verite is one of my favorites, and she does that so well. So maybe in trying to compare it to her, I was like, it's not going to work.
No.
And then kind of the same thing, Anna of the North.
Cool.
Works with that pop and... Yeah, so
I could see her on a Chainsmokers track.
Yeah, for sure,
hands down.
I wouldn't be surprised if she hasn't already been on one.
Probably, honestly. So yeah,
but yeah, so that's what I got.
That's all right. It's a new release. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
All right, Paul, hook me up with your new release.
Oh, you want it?
Yeah, give it to me.
So
give it to me, baby.
This week I went with Fourth Wonders by the Fourth Wanderers, and
shocker.
Oh, you weren't surprised by it?
No, I was just sorry, dumb joke. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh,
continue.
Oh, because Billy, it's because he wrote it out because we had told him about this earlier.
Yeah.
Right. That's why it's funny because he's referencing because he already knew.
It's not
how
funny
did you know
anymore. Not funny anymore. Not funny anymore.
Oh, holding this guy's feet.
You're fired. You're fired.
Oh wow.
You're out of here.
This has been kind of a week for like female vocal driven bands that kind of are very reminiscent of the 90s.
I think most of our picks are female driven, actually. Almost all of them, actually. Sorry, go ahead.
Huh. We must have a preference.
Yeah.
But no, it's really good. It's to kind of put an idea in people's head of the vein we're looking at. It's kind of, if you like Hop Along or Snail Mail, I guess Camp Cope, which we talked about a while back.
Yes.
But for me, it's mainly the vocals that drew me to it. I think that it's not necessarily untread ground, but it's unique enough in the vocals that it kind of kept me listening.
Yeah, I think she's great. I failed to look up her name, but I think she's excellent.
Yeah, the thing that's... I hate to cite information that's shown on Spotify's write-up of it, but they did come up with a really good point, which was that apparently their style of composition is they write all the guitar stuff first, and then they send it to the vocalist, and she just writes lyrics to go over it.
Oh, weird. That's cool.
You know, it's funny. I feel like there's sometimes a stigma against groups that aren't all writing in the same room together.
Sure. Right.
But I think it lends itself to a really good structure to their songs.
Holy shit.
It keeps everything melodic.
That blows my mind because that totally ties into why I love this album so much. But we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, it's something just different enough to where it tweaks my ear and keeps it in my mind.
Absolutely.
But, was a big fan of this. Definitely recommend everyone listening to that.
Yeah.
Songs for me were Not For Me, Never Mind, and Company.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the thing that just kept bleh. Fuck everything. I'm having a hard day.
It's been a long week.
Fresh restart. The thing that kept me coming back to this album, there we go, was definitely how the vocal melodies follow the guitar so closely. Mm-hmm. And even when they're not following each other, they're kind of dueling and they're just so intertwined, and it's absolutely good. It's excellent.
I like that because it's funny. The guitar was written first, but it almost makes it sound like, or rather, it's really different than what I'm used to, where it's kind of like clear that the vocalist had something in mind.
Yeah.
And the guitars are kind of thrown on later as an afterthought.
Yep.
It's just like, what key are we in? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And I could be crazy, but they opened for Sorority Noise when we saw them in last June, right? And I was listening to the album, and I was like, I recognize some of these songs.
Oh my God, did I miss them? We must have missed them.
No, because I swore I recognized some of it.
I thought we... No,
showed up
you're
for them,
right. You're right.
Yeah, because
I was totally not on board when we saw them.
Yeah,
I did not like whatever they came out with.
I remember.
So shit.
But yeah, I was listening to the album and I was like, I remember.
Okay.
Like some of these, I was like, I don't know where I know these from, and then I was thinking about it. And
I don't remember that at all.
Well,
I'm glad you remember. That's cool though. I've seen them.
There you go.
So this next album, this is my pick. I am super stoked. Super surprised, super proud of my boy, Post Malone, coming through. Beerbongs and Bentleys, his new album. The name's ridiculous. My wife calls him Mr. Postal Malloy because she's white and adorable.
Just like Postal Malloy.
Yeah, just like Postal Malloy, who I found out, Billy. This is the first time that I've ever had a moment where I was disappointed in myself and finding out someone's age.
Yeah.
Tell me how old do you think Post Malone is?
Isn't he like, I don't know, 21?
Shit, you're good. He's 22.
22?
22.
Look at him. He looks like an infant.
I thought he was older than me. I thought he was
really?
I thought he was like 20.
No, he just has
like 28, 29.
He lives a hard lifestyle,
Yes.
so he's putting some miles on himself.
That's very true. But anyway, to actually get into the album, this album's great. Honestly, is one of my... It will be the surprise of the year for me. I was totally ready to write this off. I did not think it was going to be any good. But I keep coming back to it. It's super, super catchy. I should say that if you don't like Post Malone, you probably won't like this. And I should say that I think he has matured a lot as a songwriter. The lyrics are still pretty dumb and pretty basic. Album's a little too long. It's about an hour long. I don't think it needs to be an hour long. And it's definitely still very much white girl turn up music. It has that
but
vibe,
he's the master of it.
But he is, and that I think that's why this album is so great. This is the statement of white girl turn up music. This is definitely him stamping his territory. Like, he's very, very good at it. And it very much shows on this album. Like, songs like Candy Paint are just very, very different. I like the like twee kind of, I call it like Nintendo hip hop because it's got that like very upbeat, happy feel to it. Kind of like older Little Yachty stuff. There's a track on here that is just him and an acoustic guitar, and it's incredible. Like, very, very good vocal harmonies, and just, you can tell how talented he is of a singer without any autotune on it. Like, he's just a very good singer.
So why does he do all this mumble rap then?
I don't know.
That's what the kids like.
I mean, yes,
it is what the kids like,
and
he's also very good at it.
That's what I was going to say. If you like mumble rap, it is done very well.
His brand of mumble rap is the best out there. I think
it's done to perfection.
And he just wraps it in this beautiful, catchy package. And there's some cool, like, introspective tracks on here, too. Like, Paranoid's really cool. Rich and Sad are both great. And one of my favorite tracks on here, maybe one of my favorite of the year, is Over Now. It's just super, super... His voice is so emotive in this song. And he's got some really good, like... super violent, dumb bars, like talking about putting his now ex-girlfriend, he's putting her pussy in a body bag and leaving her heart in a Prada bag on her counter, like, just fucking visceral, like, very, very awesome.
Wow, what? Jesus,
it's fucking great. It's fucking great. Also, Rockstar's on here, came out last year, but still really, really good song. So definitely check it out.
Wait, Rockstar's on the new album?
It is. Yeah, it's been out for like a year. It's a weird choice to put it on the new album. But,
Okay.
but yeah, it's excellent. I like it a lot. And it could appear on my album of the year. Who knows? We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. Similar artists, Khalid, Aminé, and Ray Srimmerd. And favorite tracks are Candy Paint, Over Now, and Rockstar. Because it's just that good. All right. Album of the week. Mr.
All
Billy.
right. Take two. Let's try to do this
Speedy
again.
Ortiz.
All right. Speedy Ortiz.
This is the little mouse from Looney Tunes, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. Is it? Is that where they got the name from?
Speedy Gonzalez
Yeah,
is what I was thinking.
Jeez.
Same thing.
Yeah, Speedy Ortiz, Twerp verse. Pretty good, kind of, we like to call it, Maggie coined the term, sloppy girl rock.
Who's Maggie?
Maggie's my girlfriend.
Oh, hi, Maggie.
And she gets mad at me because I don't talk about her, so I've been trying to talk about her. This is
plugs.
name drop number 3.
You might not want to use her phrases, though, because we might have to pay her something.
Oh,
Not
yikes.
anymore. This is copyright.
So I came up with the term sloppy girl rock. She did not.
She didn't disagree.
She would disagree, but she's got no proof.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I think
She probably
I think
does.
it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
The album
Oh.
is very sloppy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not
Not in a bad way, though.
Not
It is
necessarily
a
bad way.
style. It's a,
Yes.
It's
If that's your thing.
right. And we call it slop rock, but it's when done right is still very tight
Yes.
and clean.
It's not
It just sounds kind of like I don't know.
Right. Like going into the studio with like the idea of like being drunk and high and not giving a shit is sloppy performed music.
Right.
This is sloppy on purpose, kind of loose
Yeah,
feeling.
exactly.
It feels very relaxed in the way that they play.
Right.
It's not rigidly attached to a time
Exactly.
signature.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I was into it more than I thought I would be. Actually, it starts out real strong. The first 2 tracks I was feeling, and then the third track, Lucky 88, which is probably my favorite.
Lucky
track
88's great.
It's by far the best track on the album, and it really stands out.
I wish there was
as
more stuff like it.
I do too.
Honestly,
I was kind of hoping because it started out those first 3 songs, and once we got to Lucky 88, I was like, all right, this is
Cool.
really going somewhere.
I'm in.
Like,
Yeah.
And then it didn't quite finish as strong as I would have liked. But still a lot of good tracks on it. I really like her voice, and which is weird because I usually am not into that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But it worked for me for some reason.
I'm glad that you were kind of conflicted. I mean,
Yeah.
you ended up being positive. I think I lean more negative. And
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Like, this is totally... Like, this is a vocal style that I have no problems with on other albums.
Right.
Like, say, a Hop Along or, like, a Fourth Wanderers, for example.
Yes, and I'm the opposite. Like I hop along Fourth Wanderers.
It
I
is
can't
very
really
weird
get down
that
with.
we-
I get down with this one a little bit more.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where I was trying to describe why I couldn't get into it, and the vocals were very much the thing why. And it wasn't a problem of like, well, she's too low in the mix. Because I'm like, if she was higher in the mix, I wouldn't.
right.
I still wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they do a lot of weird stuff with like key changes and stuff. Well, just like
A
chord
lot of weird
progressions,
ideas of harmony, and melody on this album for sure.
Which can throw me off at times because I very much like melodic, harmonic stuff. So it threw me off every once in a while. But yeah, I was surprised with how much I liked it. Some of the best tracks I liked were Lean In When I Suffer. Like I said, Lucky 88 is probably the best. I'm Blessed, which is a terrible title, but actually was actually...
#blessed.
Yeah, as I listened to it, I kind of kept going back to that track, weirdly. And to me, like I said, like we talked about, kind of sounds like Hop Along. Also sounds like Bully. Bully's
I
a
can
little
definitely see
bit
the
more
Bully vibes.
punk, maybe,
Yeah.
but it definitely has that same kind of sound to it. So yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Paul, did you feel a certain way about it?
Not really. I mean, in general, I liked it. I just couldn't get over how 90s it sounded.
It is very.
It is,
90s.
yes. Yes.
It's got that
For me,
pop
the-
grunge sound.
I don't know, the lyricism for me leaves something to be desired, but you also calling it slop rock, it kind of, I get it. I liked it in general, but it wasn't like, it's not something I'm going to remember a few months down the road.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair. So let's get into Janelle Monae, Dirty Computer. first heard this album, I don't want to say disappointed, because I would like to think that I didn't let the hype get to me that much. It just didn't blow me away like I was expecting it to. Just especially because the lead-up singles were so great. Make Me Feel was excellent. Django Jane is also really good. But the more I listened to it, the more I started to really vibe with it. And let's just get the standards out of the way. Production is just perfect. It is on point, maybe to a fault, some would say. It is very, very clean. It's super tight. It is very, very dense. Every track has a lot of stuff going on. And it is perfectly planned and executed, I think, for a pop album. And it was really, really enjoyable. Usually on a pop album, say a Post Malone, for example, can get very derivative and very samey, like Beerbongs and Bentleys was, to be fair. This had a lot of different vibes going on and a lot of beat switches and different things going on. Crazy Classic Life is this really cool, sleek pop tune, very 80s influenced. It's got that Prince influence all over. Prince and Pharrell. I think Pharrell produced a lot of this. So he's got his fingerprints all over it. But then it switches to like this cool breakdown, and Janelle does a verse, and it's awesome. Album is super political, if you didn't know already. It's very, very female empowerment, very sex positive, and very much sexy, and just oozes sex appeal on, especially like Pink and Make Me Feel. Screwed, definitely. A lot of good, excellent guitar production. It's a really cool guitar solo kind of on Screwed. Really cool, like clean Prince guitar on Make Me Feel. Grimes made a cool production
I didn't
credit.
expect that.
Yeah, apparently, I guess she sings vocals on the chorus. You can't really hear it, but you could definitely hear it in the keyboards on Pink a lot. Pharrell's verse on I Got the Juice is just fucking classic Pharrell. Very, very awesome. And it's got his, I think that may be the track that he produced the most. But it's awesome. And the whole rollout has been really cool too. She's released a lot of excellent music videos. Apparently she released an interactive album website to kind of let people discover the track listing and stuff. And I started to watch, she released a 45-minute emotive picture video that contains a lot of the music from the video and kind of contextualizes what the album is about. And it's neat. I watched the first 10, 15 minutes of it, and it's really, really cool and really, really well done.
Oh, so we're talking about an artiste.
Yes, she is an artiste. So I know, Paul, you said you weren't a huge fan of the lyrics, but did anything else strike you?
No, I mean, everything you said, I agree with wholeheartedly. The production's amazing, and I hate that I'm repeating the same thing I said about some of the other selections, but yeah, you made a good point when we were discussing it earlier that maybe a lot of what I'm not liking in her lyricism is more it's pop, and a lot of the statements she wants to make artistically, that's kind of what pop is for. It's not subtle. Yes. It's right up there in front. Yeah. So I feel like if I gave it a few more listens, probably grow on me more. It's definitely worth your time. It's not a bad listen.
Yeah. And I think you're definitely not wrong. One of the main reasons I didn't like it the first time through was because of how simple the lyrics were. Like it was at points just surprising at how kind of dumbed down it was.
Right.
And it doesn't need to be this high art, bullshit. Like if it's made for the radio, it's made for the radio. That's fine. But I was just expecting a little more depth, for sure. But I like it quite a bit. I definitely certainly don't need it. Especially if I'm considering it as just a pop album that I throw on, Yeah. So favorite tracks, Make Me Feel, I Got the Juice featuring Pharrell Williams and Don't Judge Me. Related artists, Erykah Badu, CeeLo Green, and MIA. And Mr. Paul, last album of the week. I think it's a surprise for most of us.
Ending the show? Or
yeah, this is series finale.
Oh God!
This is where the dad leaves the crock pot on and everyone dies.
Huh? Yeah. So this week I went with Vide Noir. It's the new one by Lord Huron, which I'm sure someone could correct me on that. I'm kind of late to the party on this group. Is it Huron?
I don't know. I think Huron's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it there.
I looked up. I thought you were talking about the album title, and I googled Google translated Vide Noir, and I wanted to hear somebody say it.
Right.
And it's in French, so it was like the dumb French voice, and it was like Vide Noir. It's like, I don't know if they intended it to.
What have the French ever done to you?
I don't fucking know. Anyway, go ahead.
It was really solid album. Actually, could not have come at a better time because I was struggling this week. I know we mentioned earlier, but good stuff coming out, but nothing like just blowing my hair back.
Yeah.
But this one to me, I thought was pretty good. I mean, I'm almost struggling to say anything really specific about it. It has kind of that, I don't know, kind of an indie folk vibe, but plenty of electric guitars.
Got that like Canyon, like 60s folk, like production to it.
Definitely.
Like very wide open.
Yeah.
To it.
I think one thing you and I agreed on, Jordan, was where the bass is in the mix is killer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, it's one of those things that some people probably think it's dumb to point that out, but
it's great.
It's really refreshing in any kind of music spanning from rock to folk. Like the bass just doesn't get enough love in a lot of mixes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of had a Ryan Adams touch, a little sprinkle of Ryan Adams.
I think so. It's
with
got
his
that reverb to it. That Ryan would use.
Exactly.
I say his first name like I know him.
But I like the song structures they went with. I think they have a really good sound. I'm kind of late to the party on these guys, so I'm not as familiar with the rest of their catalog, but I know they have a following.
Yeah. Their 2012 album, Lonesome Dreams, I liked a lot when it came out.
Yeah.
And it had that very, the first track on here is very that spacey country folk. It's got has a pop veneer to it. That I quite enjoyed, but it was very one note. So I was glad to hear that they changed up a lot on this album. I was really surprised, honestly.
Yeah, and I was telling you, I saw this release and I just didn't expect it to be that good, so I didn't even bother listening to it. And then you picked it for your album of the week, and I went back and listened to it, and I was pissed because I was like, that would have been my album of the week. Yeah. But good call.
Yeah,
well done, Paul.
It is excellent. And I think it's very good for the weather that is out right now, for sure. Well, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Anyway.
I was going to say, you don't know where they're located.
We don't have any listeners in the Southern Hemisphere, let's be real.
But yeah, definitely worth your time. I would start with the tracks Back from the Edge, Ancient Names Part 2. That's the upbeat, the up-tempo version.
Only Part 2, though.
Only Part 2. Don't listen to Part 1.
It's garbage.
And then, I'm trying to think of what the other one was. Oh, Vide Noir, the namesake of the album.
Perfect. Related artists? Similar sounding?
Local natives, if
Definitely.
you will.
I can see that.
Yep.
Maybe Head in the Heart.
Okay.
You said Rogue Valley?
I did.
You going to stand by that answer?
I am going to stand. Final answer, Trebek.
I have no reason to doubt it. I just wanted to see if you crack under pressure.
I'm not that weak. A little bit more pressure, I probably would have. just to give you a heads up. Alrighty. If you're curious about the singles and albums we talked about today, there'll be a playlist up on the website. That would be bliss.house, bliss.haus, containing all the singles and the best tracks from this week's albums. Definitely check us out on Spotify for the playlist as well. Latest post going up today. It's a spring playlist curated by our very own Mr. Billy Gatewood. I'm very excited. I only heard one song.
Oh,
I know. I'm a monster. I'm going to listen to it today. Probably.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
I should listen to it before I put it up, is what I should do.
Well, yeah, probably.
so I know what it is.
Yeah. I could have led you real astray there.
No, I'm very excited for it. But thanks, everybody, for listening. Like, share, subscribe, smash that like button, of course. Check us out on iTunes and leave a good review. Only good reviews. Podcast is on Google Play and YouTube and Stitcher or your favorite podcast app. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Blisspoint Pod, and definitely visit bliss.house, bliss.haus for more content. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening.
You don't know what time of day they're listening.